Okay, your first tool, something for us. Wow, what does that mean, something for us? Well, we'll go back to the understanding of what us means. And when I look at Angie, right, and I look at the thing that was created when we married each other, there was like a separate entity, if you will. And I'm going to refer to that again as our us. And that is our usness. So when I want to do a tool, when I want to do an exercise with Angie, and this particular one, I'm doing it for us. I'm not just doing it for her, I'm doing it for our kids, for our legacy, for our friends, for our community, for those people that are watching us. I mean, our us is a big thing. And sometimes I could even be too mad to do it for Angie, or maybe too much of an upset. But if I think about, like, I'm doing this for us, and I'm part of the us, so therefore, because I'm part of the us, I'm also doing this for me.
Well, I just want to, again, how this tool really does help us. The very first tool we're teaching here is that it actually helps you put deposits, so to speak, in a, so to speak, love bank. Because what we see that over a matter of time, as couples, we actually, start doing little things that hurt each other, that upset each other, and we take a lot out of the relationship. And this is a really great tool on how do you intentionally invest in your us and put some love deposits in that emotional love bank, and really be intentional to create something healthy and create that connection that if you're not careful, it just won't be there, or it can slip away.
As we look at us, right, goodwill, empathy, respect, all those things have to be willing to be in place before I'm willing to do something different. Otherwise, I'm doing some type of dirty fighting, and we'll talk about that later. But if I have goodwill, empathy, and respect for my wife when I do these tools, then something else can be generated. I also have to honor my word, so I'm going to do it the way it was designed. So I'm not going to watch this DVD and then do it my way, because you're going to get your result if you do things your way. And if you were happy with the way you were doing things, you probably wouldn't be watching this today. So just consider that I've got to have goodwill, I've got to have empathy, which means I got to care. And guys, sometimes we miss the mark on that, right? Like, I actually really have to care how it is for her, even if I don't understand it. And I've got to have respect. I got to be careful of the words that I choose, my body language, the facial expressions that I might have. And because I'm going to give my word to this, and I promised her that I'm going to do this the way it's designed, I've got to honor my word. And so all these things are so important when we start looking at implementing new things in our lives. And for something for us, I'll just say that we've had numerous couples, numerous, like on the brink of divorce, say things like, it changed my whole marriage. It saved my marriage. I can't believe how much happier we are. I can't believe how our intimate life has changed. Guys, you want to listen closely to that. This is important stuff. When you get to share with your spouse, she's all of a sudden more available for you because she knows you care.
She feels more emotionally connected to you, which allows her to be more physically connected. That's what we've seen over and over.
Yes, and so I just encourage you, as you see it demonstrated by Porter and Joni, as you hear us tell you the ins and outs and where you may fall in a hole doing this exercise, listen real carefully. And if you don't get it the first time, go back and play it again and listen again. One thing that we know about people is this, is to have anything work when you're talking about communication, this physical closeness, right? The holding of a hand, the touching of a knee, whatever. Maybe the best you got is you can touch each other's finger. But whatever you've got to have some kind of physical closeness and then emotional openness, right? That's where breakthroughs happen, is if I can be physically close. So even when she says something and it might hurt me a little bit, I'm still connected to her. It's our us. We're connected together, that I can handle it. I can listen to what she has to say. So Porter and Joni will show you this in your upcoming demonstration. We're just going to break it down for you on appreciations. Men, women like to be appreciated for who they are. You got that? Who they are. They don't really want to be appreciated for washing the dishes. Okay? If that's the best you got, fine. But when I give my wife an appreciation, I appreciate her for being a great daughter to her mom.
Men like to be appreciated for what they do. They are performance oriented, and they like to be appreciated for those things that they do to provide and be the leaders and set the examples. And So they like to be appreciated for what they do.
The next one that we go over is new information. And you know, when you're doing your cards, you'll have it in front of you. You won't have to remember this off the cuff. You'll have a tool to look at as you're going through these tools. And so new information is basically that. And men, again, I want to speak directly to you. We are usually pretty bad about all the details and telling our wives things like, oh yeah, by the way, Bob's getting married in 2 months, right? You know, Bob being my best friend, let's say, and me forgetting to tell her. So it's a good opportunity for you to remember each day new information that your spouse may want. Now the cool thing about this too is, guys, because of the way it's designed, I would share new information. Oh yeah, Angie, Bob's getting married in 2 months. She can't ask me a bunch of questions.
What do we normally do as women? But what about, you know, when and how and where are we going and, you know, where's it going to be and who's going to, you know, what about kids and all, you know.
Yeah, no, you don't have to answer any of those further questions. You've discussed the new information. Now there's a time and a place for all that, but this is just, so just picture that you've got a table and you're just going to put your stuff on the table and you're just going to say, hey, this is what's up. And then there'll be a time to talk about it later, but this is just to share the information. So please keep that in mind. This is not about fixing something. This is not about her agreeing or disagreeing, whether Bob's getting married, whether I'm in the wedding, where it's at, what time, what day. This isn't the time for that. This is just a time to share information. New information, guys, you could have got a speeding ticket today going 60 miles an hour over. Okay, really, this could happen. Say, honey, new information, I got a $250 speeding ticket today. Now the good news is you get to tell her about it. And the good news is she can't question you a whole bunch, but I promise you, you're going to have to deal with this. So, you know, just know that this isn't like a way for you to escape responsibility for things that we're doing. It's just a safe place to share it. And then you do have to deal with it. But first you got to remember to share. And so just know it from that context. The next one's a puzzle. You know, a lot of people say, well, what do you mean by a puzzle? Puzzle is something I'm curious about. You know, and it could be about her, could be about work, could be about friends,
could be
life,
about yourself even.
Could be about myself, you know, all these things. So, you know, like today I'm puzzled why I seem to have gained 10 pounds again. I'm puzzled by that, and I don't get it because I'm really not eating that badly, but I'm puzzled by it. You know, as I put my pants on, they're a lot tighter than they were yesterday. So I'm puzzled by that, and I can just share that. And it's not a time for Angie to say, well, if you quit eating the macaroni and cheese and the donuts, you know, that might have something to do. No, I'm just puzzled by that. So just know that a puzzle's a puzzle. There's nothing to fix. You're just curious about something.
Okay, and on each one of these, I don't know if we share two that we go back and forth. That he would give an appreciation first, and then I would give an appreciation. He would share new information, then I would share new information. He would share a puzzle, then I would share a puzzle. So
and if you don't have one, it's okay to say, you know, I just don't have one.
Right.
But you better have an appreciation or it's a no pass, okay? So you may not have new information to share. Or, you know, you can get 3/4 of the way down and say, you know what, I have some new information. And you can go back and do that. The next one is a request for change. Now, this is the one that may cause you to go, whoop, and pull away.
Or like this.
Or put your hand up, okay? Because now you're pretty much requesting a change inside of the relationship. And this is where this physical closeness and emotional openness is so important.
And empathy.
Yeah,
empathy is so important here too, because you got to care as a listener what your spouse is really trying to say here, and see, you know, try to see with empathy how it is from their point of view.
Yeah. Request for change, you want to be careful in your verbiage. Like, you know, there's a nice way to say a request for change, and then there's that sarcastic, dirty fighting attack thing that we've tried in the past, you know, that hasn't worked. So you might want to check in with your verbiage bank before you speak, and check in with your posture and all of these things. So I would say that the first thing you'd want to look at when you are doing the request for change is to really soul search. Are you speaking with goodwill and respect? So for instance, I have a request for change. My request for change with Angie might be is that she cuts her hair short. And, you know, because I could give her the reason, right? You know, I have a request for change, honey, that you cut your hair short. I noticed that you spend a lot of time getting ready, and my request is that you cut the hair short. Now, she doesn't have to agree with that. She doesn't have to argue with me about that. It's just a request for change that I have.
I don't have to defend myself and prove my point at this time.
Yeah, and if you have a hurt or a wound around that, she goes, well, he must want me to cut my hair short because he likes that girl at the office with short hair and all the stuff that you can get hooked in. This is the most dangerous part of this. If you don't do this with goodwill and respect, you will get hooked and you'll throw this out the door and you'll say, that didn't work, and there'll be a big fight. It's just a request for change. You know, if I would have said to Angie, you know, honey, I wish you'd get your darn hair done. We're late every single time because you take so long doing your hair. And if you just cut it short, we wouldn't be late for everything. Can't you get it? Now, where's that going to get me? It's not going to get me anywhere, is it? Really? So we have to, you know, we got to be careful on our verbiage, right? And how we're saying things and acting and so on and so forth.
And we do want to go back and just share that just because the request for change is put out there does not mean that the partner is accepting it or agreeing to it.
That's
okay,
right.
That'll be another tool. We promise you we'll get you there.
Right.
But right now, he is just sharing. He's just sharing what's there for him, and I'm just listening to what's there for him.
Yeah, she doesn't have to say, I'll do it, I'm not going to do it, you know, whatever. None of that's on the, we're just putting it on the table. It's just my request for change, all right? Ask for or offer forgiveness. You know, if we really look at the power of forgiveness, this is a great tool. And if you could take on doing this one every day, even for the little things, like, you know, honey, I promised you I'd take the garbage out yesterday, but I didn't do that, and I know that you counted on me to do that. You know, will you forgive me? Not I'm sorry, not, you know, will you let it go? Say, will you forgive me? You know, because as we practice forgiveness, it cleans the slate. It actually gives us the ability to let it go. You know, I'm going to ask for forgiveness, and this is the only part of the conversation that she can actually talk back about and say, you know what, I forgive you.
Yeah, because we're talking about a healthy us, and there's so many little bitty things like that we carry around as resentment and disappointment, and this tool really helps you address those things on a daily basis, all the little things. I mean, we have huge upsets, I know all of us do, but it's all those little things that just add up, you know, the resentment and the grudges and the disappointments, that if we have this tool and just really focus on it every day, we can actually have a lot of freedom.
Yeah. All right, for the next one, if you're someone of faith, right, then you can relate to this part of the conversation. If you're not, you can move ahead on the DVD. But for those of us in the faith community, prayer is an awesome way to have empathy, compassion, and care about your spouse. So I can ask my wife to pray for me about a certain area of my life, and then in her private prayer time, or even right then if she chooses, we could pray about that. And so for those in the faith community, it's an opportunity for your spouse to share, hey, would you pray for me? Like, my back has just been killing me and I really don't know what to do. I'm very frustrated. Would you pray for me on my back because I'm having a really hard time? And then she can choose to do that when she can. And the same for me. And for the last is wishes, hopes, and dreams. And you'll see Porter and Joni show this. A wish, a hope, and a dream is just that's what it is. You could hope for winning the lottery. You could wish for a vacation of a lifetime. You could dream of your house in North Carolina, you know, whatever it is that's there for you, small or little. This is just a time to share from your heart. Boy, I hope my wishes and my dreams are is this summer's family vacation will be the best ever. And it's just that simple. You just put it on the table and you get to share something positive. So if you notice, we started on a positive, appreciations, right? Then we had to deal with some stuff in between. We had to deal with some of the stuff that life puts on the table to us, right? And then we got to end with a positive, and the positive being a wishes, hopes, and dreams. So our wishes, hopes, and dreams for you is that you'll use these tools, and you'll use them the way they were designed, and then you'll have the results that are available for you. And that if you get stuck, and look, you're going to get stuck. We get stuck. Go back and review and see what stage that you missed. What wasn't I doing, or what did I do? Did I talk after she talked? Did I interrupt him when he was sharing? Did I not hold a hand? Did I pull away when I got hurt? Did I shut down when I heard something I didn't like? That's another caution. You know, when you go through this and you get shut down and you're no longer present in the us, you're not doing any good. You'd be much more ahead by saying, you know, honey, I need a timeout just for a moment. I've got to regain composure. I need to get myself together. Then try to pretend you're doing this right. It's time to give up pretending and get real with each other. And this is a tool, but it's also, I can cut my wife with this, and she could cut me with it. If we don't do it the way it's designed, it can be a weapon. By trying to prove something. Honey, let's do something for us. So I got a lot of stuff I got to go over with you today. I'm puzzled this and new information, requests for change. I mean, if we go in with those types of attitudes, what's the chance that she's going to want to do something for us? It's just not going to happen. You know,
the one thing that we're seeing a lot of time with couples is the encouragement actually is just having the husbands take the lead and set the example. We're finding that so many times it's the women that want to talk and the men want to avoid it. They think, oh, I don't have a problem, so I don't want to talk. I don't want to share my feelings. I don't want to go there. So I don't know if you want to speak
Well,
to
I just
that.
want to share on that. So for those in the faith community, scripturally, if we take a look at it, that's God's hierarchy. You know, there's God, then man would come underneath him, and then his wife wants to follow because he's doing things in that order. And for those of you that aren't in the faith community, it's just being a leader in your house. And being a leader in your house means I'm going to take the first step.
And set the example.
Yes. So for all of you today, we thank you, and we are excited that you're about ready to learn a whole bunch of great new tools.
And the encouragement also is that this is a wonderful tool to be used as a family. So we
Yes.
encourage us to try it out, to
Master it.
to get
Yep.
really comfortable using it. And when you can sit down at the dinner table and do this as a family, have everyone go around sharing appreciations, have everyone go around sharing new information, have everyone go around sharing puzzles and requests for change and
Yep.
asking for forgiveness. Your kids can do this. They want to be a part of healthy communication, and they will love it, and it will make all the difference for a healthy family.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you.